Hey Scott, today we're going to talk about a movie that I randomly ran into called Nina Forever. And it is a British movie that was made in 2015 for $13,000 through a crowdfunding effort. And it was made by two brothers, Ben Blaine and Chris Blaine. And this is really the only movie they have in their, although they're involved in other aspects of filmmaking, it's really the only movie they've made, and it is a different and fairly unique film that I loved. What did you think about it?
So Synthol, I actually texted you the other day about this film, and this is one of those films. I can't believe A, they did this for $13,000, and B, that they haven't done anything else. I thought this film was extremely well made. I thought the ideas around this film were really well thought out. I thought that their take on grief, loss, possession was outstanding. This was one of those movies I could sit back, not right off the bat, give it time to digest it and watch this movie again and see more hidden things that are in this film. I thought it was brilliant.
Same thing, and I would definitely encourage our viewers to take a look at this, and I have the same reaction. This is a layered film, and it does have a twist to it, a psychological twist to the story and the plot. And I also tell our audience to avoid Wikipedia. I really think Wikipedia gives too much away.
Yes.
What the directors and who are also the writers are trying to accomplish with this. Just go in, and I will also say that this has some disturbing elements of horror in it. This is not a hack and slash. The scenes are uncomfortable. Because it involves sex and it involves death. The objective is not to glorify violence or death. It's a much more deeper film about what the characters are going through. And if you look at it from that context, you do have to watch it a couple of times to really pick up on the nuances and what these characters are going through and how they evolve or don't.
Yeah.
Right? So for those reasons, the story held up. And this goes back to what we talked about. We've run across so many very talented small budget horror directors and writers who put together money from multiple sources. They've made a great movie with a great script, and then we just don't hear from them a lot. It's clearly a very difficult industry to break into.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Senthil, though, even though it's a difficult industry to break into, I am at a point now where I'm going, I don't know if they're actually trying to break into the industry, or they had, these film directors have great ideas. They realize they can do it for a minimal budget. And like you and me, I mean, I don't think either of us think that by the time we're done with our first film, it's going to be a mind-blowing, somebody's going to come and capture this and bring it to to a film festival. I think it's a passion. You want to try it. You want to do it. And what I loved about this film, it felt a lot like It Follows as well, which I love. It Follows, which I think is about coming of age, right? It's about sex. It's about all of the tropes we put around sex and guilt and loss. And, what I loved about Nina Forever was it really is about the things that we can't let go.
Yep.
But the twist at the end of this movie was brilliant. Yep. And I just thought that they did it well. The actors were just amazing. Simple. I was shocked by how well the acting went. And the thing that really got me was Nina, the character who played Nina, Mandeep, right? Yep. She was amazing playing this dead character interacting with live people. And there is a lot of blood in this film, but that blood is not horror. That blood is loss. I mean, it is this, and it's just startling how well they put it together.
And the reaction of the two leads to Nina is not what you would expect. There's a lot of empathy there. There's a lot of shared loss. And that's makes it a non-traditional horror movie. The intent of this movie is really not to make a horror movie. There are elements of horror that are used in order to convey loss and what these characters experience throughout the movie. And it's very subtle. The twist that probably should have been seen by us when we're watching the movie, but it's very subtle and it evolves throughout the movie. And when you watch it the second time around, then you really, because I've seen this twice. When I randomly ran across, I saw this, of course, for our review. I saw it again this week, and definitely I picked up a lot more the second time around, and I paid attention to what was going on and understood it better. And then it led me to do what we've always done: go look and see what else these writers and directors have done. And there were some interesting comments that part of the reason they approached this the way they did is because they didn't feel that traditional movie studios would give them the freedom to make the movie they wanted to make.
Yeah. Could they have? I mean, honestly, that would have been probably an NC-17 film. I mean, it's all based around sex.
Yeah.
But Synthel, that's what I loved about it. It's not the sex, it was the guilt around it, right? It was the, the age differences between the two characters, right? This idea of the 19-year-old and the older man, but he's not that much older, everybody. It's not like this weirdness, but it's really about the experience and inexperience and what sex is about, and then loss, and that you can't really let go. And I'm gonna even say this, that you never really let go of your partners that you've had in the past. They're all a part of who makes you you. And this film did an amazing job of going through that in a very horror way.
And the loss that both characters experience come from different sources.
Yeah.
They're not the same type of loss, but they're still impacted in very similar ways. And they have difficulty letting go of what they've experienced in their lives and the people that have encountered and they've experienced life with. And so that aspect of it was really good. I would love to talk to these directors. I know this is a British movie. I'd love to reach out to the director and really understand better I think this is one of those cases where they clearly accomplished what they were trying to in making the movie and writing the movie. That's very obvious. And I'd be interested in, they've had other careers in the film industry. And I'd really be curious if there's a personal aspect of their lives that led them to express themselves in what they experienced. And that was it. Or if they were just filmmakers who happened to have hit on a really good idea and had trouble in the movie industry going further. I'd love to talk to them and see, how their lives have evolved since they've made this.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you, and I think we should reach out. As a matter of fact, I know we've been talking to our watchers for a while now about bringing in directors and stuff, and we're at that point where we're ready. We're feeling pretty confident now that we can talk with them, and so just because all the films now that we've watched, Synthel, I think we've got a pretty good grasp of things, and then you and I, just our journey in our own film. I would love to talk to these directors. I got to tell you, I actually like to talk to some of the cast because it had to be difficult to play those parts. And
I would tell our audience that it's not just sex, but it's unusual sex that's involved in it.
Yeah.
And so even for adults, it's not comfortable to watch because these are not the kind of sex you would see even in horror movies, but it's used really well. And how it's integral part of the story. You can avoid it. So that's my only caution. This is probably, I didn't see what the rating for this was because it didn't really R. It was rated R.
Oh yeah, it's rated R. I was shocked though that it was rated R. And that's what I was saying. I think, Synthel, if this film had come out and been distributed, and that might be another reason why these directors went, no, we're not going to do it, because this would have been NC-17 in a theater.
I loved it. I would recommend it. Any final thoughts, Scott?
Now, I would tell you that if you have some time to watch it, it's well worth your time to watch it. It's a wonderfully slow burn horror movie that you will not be disappointed with at the end. I can pretty much guarantee that.
Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to next time, Scott.
All right, Synthel, talk to you soon.